Hey guys, Anthony here. It is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. Video today I want to make, it's not anything specific other than to let everybody know that I watched a Amazon Prime, I guess it was an Amazon Prime original series. It came out in 2020. It's called Utopia, and there was a lot of talk about it. I saw it on Instagram on different feeds, and so I had saw clips of it that people posted, and I decided, well, you know what, let me watch it, kind of watch it for myself and see what I think about it. It stars John Cusack, who he's a good actor. You can't take that away from the guy. I know he's a liberal and sides left, but as far as acting goes, the guy's a good actor. You can't take that away from him. Also, Rainn Wilson is in it. He's the gentleman or the actor from The Office. He played Dwight in The Office. He plays a good part in the movie as well. He's a good actor himself. And then there's some different other stars in it. There's some one of the child stars that's in the movie that plays the boy, the young boy. I believe I saw him, and I'm not 100% positive. I think he played in the Sylvester Stallone movie where Sylvester Stallone plays the, oh darn it, I forget the title of that movie, but I watched that movie where he plays like a good and a bad guy in the movie. This boy is in that movie as well, and he's a good actor too. And there's a couple of good child actors in the movie. So, however, Utopia, from what I could see, is 8 episodes. I don't know if there's a season 2 planned. I haven't really researched into it. I know that the storyline, the movie's violent. If you're going to watch it, expect to hear cursing. You're going to see gun violence and things like that, murder, mayhem. But if you could get beyond that and kind of watch it for the storyline that it's about, I think it kind of will open your eyes, and it'll make you wonder that, you know, how did they make this, or how did this come out in 2020 and so accurately shows kind of what's going on today, what we have been through the last 3 years, 3 years plus. And so I know I've read that somewhere the series is an offshoot of something that happened or that came out in 2013, and they kind of built upon that. I don't know. I haven't researched it that deeply, but I did want to see it, and to tell you that I think it's worth watching only because of the what we're going through now. It kind of shows you how the lie can be weaved and how people can be manipulated through technology, through social media, through people pretending that they're one way and they're really the other way. You know, the Bible talks about, you know, the devil comes as an angel of light. That's the Bible. The word of Yah is not just kidding about that. The word of Yah is serious about that. When he comes, many times it's as an angel of light. So people think it's for a good thing. And so when we were hit with this medical sickness back in the end of 2019 into 2020, and then all the other things that followed and are still building upon one another and ready for another round of them, if you will, you could see how if people are led a certain way, or they're watching and following media, social media, different people that call themselves PhDs or doctors, or, you know, everybody has a big title after themselves and plaques on the wall and all the wonderful things they've done with their lives and the jobs that they have chosen to do, whether it's science, medical, industrial, whatever it is, whatever their specialty is. There are plenty of smart people. However, smart does not mean that they're right, does not make them good, and does not make them subject to being deluded, or this great delusion that's been going on for the past 2,000 years, where people have chosen to follow something that's not correct or not right, and can easily be led down a path that they will regret later on. This is what this movie, to me, showed me how easy it is to set up a lie and then follow through with the lie, and then get people to push it on the people and actually get them to ask for it, to ask for a cure, to ask for a cure for a sickness, or to beg for it. And then those in charge are gladly willing to give it, because at the end of their plan is a certain goal. It's a certain point they want to reach. It's a certain place they want the world to be at, so they can move forward or enact the next phase, what have you. So I believe the movie or the series Utopia is good to watch in that sense. Now, it follows this kind of like a comic book type thing that reveals certain things, that has like hidden messages and things that these people have to look at, and then when they finally start looking at it, they realize that it's really coming true. These things are planted, and these people are following this Utopia, these Utopia writings or comics. And so I think it's worth a watch. I got through it in a couple days. I kind of binge watched it. I think there are like 45-minute episodes each, something like that. And it showed me that moving forward, now I was kind of aware of what has been going on and what is going on. I knew it in my spirit from the beginning, and I made my voice clear to many people in the beginning of what was going on and back in 2020. And I'm even more worried now going into 2023 that the many millions, perhaps billions of people that have been hit by this tidal wave are going to continue to roll with it and be tumbled into the next phase. And I know they're talking about or meeting about this right now, starting today, in fact, in Davos, and that goes through the 11th. So there's no telling what's coming down the pike next. We have a perfect storm, if you will, set up right now in the world. We have World War III in the making, or actually underway. We have nation rising against nation. We have people being pitted against one another, and that's manufactured to some large extent. We have a series of events, if you will, going on, and that have been going on, where we have food processing plants. First, before the food processing plants, it was technology companies or other companies being hacked. Then it was food processing plants. Then it was actual animals being euthanized that we use for consume, that we eat. It was different variants coming out of something that we've been going through. It's just, it seems like whenever something happens, the next thing happens right after it. It's like almost like a tidal wave, like I just spoke about, of events that they have planned. There's adverse weather conditions. There's things that, the deep freeze and the storm that was hitting Buffalo recently and other areas. These once-in-a-generation type things. Now California is going through this with flooding and levees breaking and things going on. It's just one thing after the other. And it just makes you wonder that what's going to happen next. And these people meeting now for the next week plus, we don't know what's going to be next down the pike. What are we going to face next? The rise of evil, the rise of crime, particularly in the United States, the electric grid now being targeted. And somehow I think deep down they want a certain type of individuals to be responsible for it. And so if you watch Utopia, you'll see kind of how they could weave that and make that happen. When you see the scenes with the boy and what they set up with the little boy to blame on him in the series, you'll see what I'm talking about. They can kind of orchestrate things or make things and have them ready to go in order to deceive people or to make them do what they want because of blackmail or because of the way they set things up. And it's very scary the way they show it in Utopia. And so moving into 2023, I think we have to be, not just here in the United States, but around the world, you have to have your family and yourself's protection and well-being in mind. Now, what that entails, like things like prepping, if you watch this channel on YouTube, my channel, going back to 2009, you'll know that I have a lot of information on prepping and what I think is coming down the pike, and I haven't changed. However, I don't do continual videos telling you you need to get ready, you need to buy food. This should be a given, seeing what has been transpiring the past 3 years. So I shouldn't have to get on here every day and remind you or show you, here's how you pour rice into a bottle and seal it and then put it on a shelf. Here's how you store water. You turn on the tap and you fill up an empty bottle of orange juice that you rinsed out, and now you have a half a gallon of water on your shelf. I shouldn't have to tell you how to do that. I shouldn't have to tell you to have some type of means to respond to an event that might happen in your community where you might be called upon to defend your home or your block or whatever it is in a moment's notice. So having something ready to go like this that you could just put on around your waist, grab your tool that you need, put it in the holster, and you have some backup on you ready to go in a moment's notice in the event that evil comes knocking, which seems to be happening more and more, and which seems to be one of the things that they're pushing. When I say they, let's say the Utopia type people are pushing. Because with violence and mayhem and all the things that brings, it gives them the ability to say, hey, you know what? We have an answer for that. We're going to help you with that. We're going to make more laws, and we need to do this, and we need to regulate this, or get rid of this, or limit this. And it all seems to be pushed upon the common man and makes us more vulnerable to further attacks or further sickness or whatever it is. It doesn't seem like, to me, that our best interests are in mind at the end of the day. That's just how I see it. Now, people argue with me or disagree. You feel free to chime in. I just see it as the common man, both here in this country and around the world, is a target. And a lot of different arrows are being used to shoot at the common man, economically, his livelihood, work, violence, weather, shortages of certain supplies and medical and food, restructuring of how care is given. It just makes you wonder that how could all this be happening all at once, and seemingly every country in the world is involved in it in some way, shape, or form, and they're actually going through these motions. And I think many times it's theatrics that they're really mad at one another. Or does Russia really hate the United States? Does the United States really hate Russia? Does the U.S. really hate China, a place where we get many of our supplies and goods from, and that we depend upon? Does China really want to crush our dollar, turn in the $1 trillion in treasuries that it has and crash our system? Or is there something bigger coming down the road where this kind of global government takes shape and forms and all these countries kind of sign on to it? Is that where we're headed? And to bring that about, they all have to be on the same page, whether it's from the what we've been going through the last 3 years with the sickness and all of this, to now war, and us thinking, getting the whole world, or all the common men and women in the world scared out of their wits and pushed down several notches to being going from one class to another class, and then having waves of people coming into countries that have no business being here, that are lingering on our streets and in our towns and villages and cities, who we don't know who they are. We don't know what diseases they're carrying. We don't know what devices they've been trained or given to do, or tasks they've been given to do in order to disrupt maybe things in the said country or said city, town, municipality. We don't know. Therefore, that's why my antennas are always up, and I'm always talking to people that things are really not what they seem. This is not a bad dream. That's out of Pink Floyd lyrics. Things are not really what they seem. No, this is not a bad dream. And that's true. I think the wool is being pulled over our eyes because many of these same countries are together doing certain things, or to get us from knowing certain things, but yet they're fighting over here. Okay? This is how I see it. I don't see it as cut and dry, that there are countries that hate other countries, that maybe want to usurp them, but at the end of the day, I think there's a one world system that they want to implement that controls people, watches over them, monitors them through every single thing that they do from birth to death. Okay, and I'll end this video here. Please take your time out, and I'm recommending you watch Utopia. Let me know what you think when you watch it. Maybe we'll have a live stream when several people have watched it, and we'll kind of discuss on the live stream what you thought about it and how you think it relates to what's going on today. So I'll cut this video here today, this Wednesday, January 4th. Remember, there are things going on around the world, things being planned. Countries are planning, building fortifications, building weapon systems to defend themselves seemingly, but yet the average man and women, the common man as I call him, is being hindered from looking out for his family or defending his family. In fact, when he does defend himself and his family, it's actually looked down upon by the mainstream for some reason. For some reason, they want you to be steamrolled over, to take it on the cheek or on the chin and just move on. Or, oh well, that's just life. Evil's out there. No. Evil is out there. Evil will always be out there. And the average common man needs to be aware of that and needs to respond to that evil when it's forced upon him ruthlessly, aggressively, ruthlessly, and without remorse. I'll end that video here. Stay ready, my friends. Yah bless. Anthony signing off.